If you attended or saw the dedication of the Martin Luther King Memorial on Monday, you saw another generation of people whose lives were transformed by the power of a single person. The tears shed by grown men, Andrew Young, Jesse Jackson, John Lewis, were a very powerful reminder for all Americans that even though Dr. King is no longer with us, his dreams do live on. We all understand the power of that call because in that generation, Americans were inspired by Dr. King, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and so many others whose names are not necessarily well known by many people, but stood up at unique moments and called us to a better purpose in life. In fact, I was suggesting earlier, I don't know the names of the other 29 people in that rented room on November 17, 1866. I wish I did, in many ways. No one may ever know who they were. But in many ways, they were no different than Henry Brewster. He called up and asked them to do something. But the other 29 also stood up. And people stand up every day and have to fight back. We'll never know about their names, but they stand up and make a difference. What we learned then is that it's not only the people whose names appear in the history books that do great things. There are people all around us in every community, every day, capable of asking and acting upon the question, why not now? I stood on the east front of the Capitol on a cold January day in 1961 and heard the famous inaugural address of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. I understood that when he talked about a torch being passed to a new generation, he was speaking to me. I heard the call, and as was mentioned earlier by Jennifer, I took it to the rural hills of the Dominican Republic, not far from the Haitian border, where I worked as a Peace Corps volunteer for 2 years after I graduated from college. I hope some of you might think about that as an alternative, something to think about. I didn't speak a word of Spanish, although I do now, and I had no idea what I was doing, quite candidly. But it didn't seem to matter in many ways. We built a youth club, a library, a maternity hospital, a variety of other projects and things we worked on in those communities. What people in that community saw in me was a 22-year-old American who had no background in any of this that I was doing, but who believed that there were limitless possibilities because someone asked me to, in many ways, for what people could do if we worked together in a small community. That's not something I was taught, but I was training in the Peace Corps. That's who I was as an American. That's who I wanted to be. The thought of totally eradicating poverty and curing disease and ending racism may have been exaggerated in our own ideas, but there's nothing wrong with a generation believing that those goals are possible. When people wonder why, and I've been asked a million times, why did you join the Peace Corps? Because someone asked me to. Someone challenged me to. Someone asked me to become part of something larger than myself. At a difficult moment in our nation's history, somebody asked me and thousands of others in my generation to stand up and lead, to keep dreaming, to keep hoping, to keep working, to create a better America and a better world. I'm here on this campus today because I believe that we need that same kind of leadership today, willing to call all of us together to be a part of something larger than ourselves once again. The world has watched with admiration as each generation, almost without exception, inspired by idealism, has taken America to better places, far from perfection, but each one getting us closer. Now they watch an American leadership, in my view, that does not challenge us to be better and seems indifferent in many ways to the principles that we affirmed before the world. Travel around America today and there's a sense that something is being lost, something is missing in all of this. It's a feeling I have. I wish I could articulate it even better. And I'm not referring to the job losses or the tragic loss of lives in Iraq, as significant as those are. It's something else. It's something deeper than that that seems to be missing in all of this. I'm talking about a sense of who we are as a people, what we stand for, what we believe in, what we want to become.